All right, so today we're going like really deep into xAI,
Oh,
Elon Musk's AI venture.
right.
We got a whole bunch of your sources here, like articles and stuff from,
Yeah.
like big publications, analyses of like what xAI can actually do.
Mm-hmm.
And even some really recent discussions about like its overall impact.
Right.
And this is all like hot off the press, like really recent stuff,
Yeah.
mostly from like November, December 2024.
Cutting edge.
Yeah.
Like bleeding edge.
Yeah, we're talking bleeding edge, cutting edge, like all the edges.
Yeah.
So you're ready to like cut through all the hype and figure out what.
Get to the bottom of it.
Yeah, get to the bottom of it.
Yeah.
What xAI is all about, like what it can actually do, and maybe even answer some of those like big questions it's raising.
The big questions. The
Yeah.
big question.
Let's do it. Let's get to it.
Yeah.
The speed at which this company has grown is just like
It's wild, right?
tension grabbing, to say the least.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's like watching a rocket launch,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
from 0 to 60.
Boom.
Yeah. In like no time flat.
Yeah, so like they started as just this tiny little team back in March 2023,
Right.
and now in just over a year, they're valued at like $50 billion.
Oh, yeah. I mean, just
It's crazy.
it's astounding, really.
And that recent funding round, that $6 billion,
Oh, yeah.
like,
That's a game changer.
yeah, that's got to be a game changer.
I mean, that just signals that they are
Serious players.
a serious contender in this whole AI landscape. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going head to head with like, the giants, right?
So
like
sick.
your OpenAI's and your Anthropics.
Yeah.
And with that kind of financial firepower behind them,
Oh, yeah.
they can really like build the infrastructure they need, develop some incredible products, attract the top talent. Like it's
It's a big deal.
oh yeah.
And they're not just building like infrastructure and stuff. They're building, actual products.
Right.
Like their flagship chatbot, Grok, that's like
Yeah.
already making some noise.
It's making waves. It's turning heads.
It's turning heads, yeah. It's described as like this,
rebellious,
rebellion.
quick-witted,
Like sort of, it's not afraid to
push the boundaries.
push the boundaries, say what it thinks.
Yeah.
It's got an attitude, right?
Yeah. So I'm curious, like, what actually makes Grok different from, let's say, like, ChatGPT,
Right. Yeah. I mean, think of ChatGPT as the
Okay.
like studious,
Yeah.
rule-following kind of AI.
Yeah.
It's known for like being really careful in its responses. Like
Right.
it's got the content filters on, and
Right.
and it's
Doesn't want to offend.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Grok, on the other hand, is kind of like the class clown with a PhD, right?
Okay. I like that.
Yeah, like it's designed to
Like make you think, but also
make you think, but also
make you laugh.
make you laugh, right? Engage with those sort of like edgier topics.
Yeah. The controversial topics.
Yeah.
It injects some humor and sarcasm into its responses.
Yeah.
And it even pulls like real-time data from X.
Whoa, wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Real-time data.
Real-time
Yeah.
from X, formerly known as Twitter.
Oh, okay, wow.
So its answers are incredibly current.
So it's like learning from like the entire
Twitter fire hose.
Twitter fire hose in real time.
Real time, yeah.
That's kind of wild, right?
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
So like what are the implications of that? Like
Right.
what does that actually mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the most fascinating things about Grok, I think, right?
Yeah.
Is that it means its responses are like incredibly up to date.
Mm-hmm.
And they reflect the like constantly
The
changing
landscape.
landscape of opinions and information on X.
Yeah.
Like you're essentially getting a snapshot of like
The collective consciousness of Twitter.
yeah, exactly. The collective consciousness of Twitter, but like distilled through an AI.
But that also raises some like interesting questions.
Sure.
Right? Like if it's learning from like everything on Twitter,
Everything.
wouldn't that include,
Misinformation.
misinformation?
Bias.
Yeah.
Biases, all that.
Of course. Yeah, and that's the double-edged sword of
Yeah, of real-time data, you get the good and the bad.
The good and the bad, exactly.
Yeah.
On the one hand, you've got like access to the most
Up to date.
up to the minute information.
Yeah.
But on the other, you also run the risk of
Right.
amplifying those biases or like spreading misinformation if the AI isn't like carefully trained to distinguish between, reliable and unreliable sources.
Right.
It's a challenge.
So how is xAI addressing that challenge? Like, are they filtering the data that
Right.
Grok is learning from?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
And that's where things get a bit
Murky.
Murky, yeah. I mean, we know that X recently updated its... Oh, right, yeah.
Privacy policy.
Privacy policy, yeah.
Yeah, and it allows user data to be shared with...
For third parties.
Third parties, including xAI, for the purposes of AI training.
Right.
However...
That's kind of a... There's been some debate about that, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, there's been a lot of debate about the lack of, like, explicit user consent.
Right. So, like, potentially millions of users could be contributing to
Grok's learning?
Yeah, Grok's learning without even knowing it.
Exactly.
So that's a pretty big...
That feels like an ethical gray area for sure.
Ethical gray area. I mean, where do you stand on that?
Oh, it's a tough one.
It's complicated.
Yeah, it's complicated.
Yeah.
On the one hand, like, access to these massive amounts of data is, like, absolutely crucial for training these really powerful AI models.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, yeah, transparency and user control over their own personal data.
Yeah, that's a big one.
It's huge. It's essential for building trust.
In these technologies.
In these technologies, exactly. So the question becomes, like, how do we strike the right balance?
It's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is. It really is.
And it kind of leads us to another, like, crucial aspect of xAI.
Yeah.
The Elon Musk factor.
Yeah.
You can't really talk about xAI without acknowledging, like, his impact, his personality, his vision for the company.
Yeah.
It seems like, his fingerprints are all over this project.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it brings both advantages and challenges potentially, right?
Right.
But on the plus side, xAI has this incredible access to data from
all his companies.
All of his companies. Tesla, SpaceX, and now X.
I mean, that's like...
the gold mine.
It's like the keys to the data kingdom.
Yeah, exactly. You've got information on, like, self-driving cars, space exploration, social media trends. Like, it's an incredible treasure trove of information.
But then there's, the other side of the coin.
Right.
Like, does this, close relationship with all of his other companies raise concerns about fair competition?
Some people worry about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that it creates an uneven playing field.
Yeah.
It could stifle competition.
In the AI industry.
In the AI industry, yeah.
Yeah, and then you got... You can't forget about, like...
the wild card.
The wild card, Elon. He's very outspoken.
Yes, yeah.
And his tweets can be...
a little bit controversial sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, a little spicy.
A little spicy.
So that can add fuel to the fire,
Yeah.
when it comes to public perception of
xAI.
Of xAI and their goals, right?
Right. So we've got this incredibly ambitious AI company. We've got this, like...
rebellious chatbot.
Learning from the Wild West of Twitter. And then we got...
the unpredictable Elon Musk.
The unpredictable Elon Musk at the helm.
At the helm.
Like, where do we even begin to unpack all of this?
Well, perhaps the best place to start is by asking ourselves, like... if Grok really is learning from, like, the unfiltered chaos of Twitter, like, what kind of AI will it become?
Right.
And what will that mean
for
the future of technology?
And society. That's a big one.
It is a big one.
Yeah, and that's what we're going to explore as we continue our deep dive into xAI.
Absolutely.
Awesome. All right, let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
We've been talking a lot about Grok and its connection to X.
Yeah.
But, like, xAI's reach goes, like, way beyond just social media. The sources that you sent, they mentioned some pretty fascinating potential applications for, like, Tesla and SpaceX, which are, like...
two of Musk's other,
two of his other,
big ventures.
Big ventures.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting to think about how, like, AI could completely transform these industries.
Yeah.
Like, imagine,
xAI algorithms just, like, analyzing the tons and tons of data that Tesla's, like, self-driving cars generate, constantly learning and like improving autonomous driving capabilities.
It's like having 1 million student drivers all learning from each other.
Yeah.
But at, like, warp speed.
Warp speed, yeah. And what about SpaceX? Like, how could xAI help with their mission?
Oh man, that's where things get really...
where it gets really wild.
Really wild, really interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, you could see xAI being used to, like, plan these incredibly complex space missions.
Yeah.
Like optimizing trajectories, even, like, assisting with tasks on board a spacecraft.
Wow.
Like potentially making space travel safer, more efficient.
Yeah.
And maybe even, like, helping us reach Mars.
Reach Mars faster.
Faster, exactly.
Yeah.
It's pretty mind-blowing when you think about it.
That is pretty mind-blowing. But I imagine, like, integrating AI into, like, systems that control vehicles and spacecraft also raises some concerns. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, how much control are we actually comfortable handing over to
an algorithm?
An algorithm, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially in like situations with such
high stakes.
Yeah. Like life or death.
Exactly. Yeah. One of the sources you sent actually talked about this whole issue of like autonomous decision making. Right. As xAI systems become more sophisticated.
Yeah.
We have to really carefully consider like the level of autonomy that we're willing to give them.
Yeah, and what happens when an AI encounters a situation that it hasn't been trained for?
Exactly.
Like, who's ultimately responsible?
Yeah, who's making the call?
When those decisions have those,
life or death consequences.
Yeah, life or death consequences. Those are
big questions.
Those are some tough questions. Yeah. And it's not just about, like, safety either.
No, of course not.
There's also the potential impact on, like,
Jobs.
Yeah. If AI is handling more and more tasks, what does that mean for the people who are currently
employed in those roles?
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's a valid concern, right?
Totally.
Like increased automation, while it can, potentially boost efficiency and productivity, could also lead to job displacement in certain sectors.
Yeah, it's something that we really need to
anticipate and figure out how to like address proactively.
How do we like
retrain workers for the jobs of the future?
Yeah, how do we
make sure there's a just transition? As AI kind of takes on this larger role.
Yeah, and what about the potential like vulnerabilities? I remember one of the articles you sent mentioned cybersecurity concerns related to xAI.
Oh, that's a huge one.
Yeah.
That's another critical thing to think about, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, on the one hand, xAI could definitely enhance cybersecurity.
Right.
Like, it could identify and respond to threats way faster than humans can.
Right.
But it also introduces, like, these new...
attack vectors.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, could hackers somehow exploit xAI systems to, like, take control of autonomous vehicles?
Yeah, or like disrupt
critical
space missions. Yeah.
Wow.
It's a scary thought.
It's a little bit scary. It's like a
technological arms race.
Yeah, like as we develop these more powerful AI systems, we need to also be thinking about how to like
protect them.
Yeah,
secure them
from people who would try to like
exploit
them. And then there's like the whole regulatory landscape too.
Right.
Like integrating AI into products like Tesla vehicles and SpaceX spacecraft.
Yeah.
That's bound to attract
a lot of attention.
Yeah, a lot of attention.
From regulators. Yeah.
So are we going to see like new laws?
Yeah, I think it's inevitable.
And guidelines specifically, like
aimed at AI.
Yeah, at AI.
In these high-risk domains.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And navigating those regulations, that could be like a whole other...
It's a whole other can of worms.
Yeah. And a really time-consuming process.
Absolutely.
It seems like,
It feels like the pace of innovation is just outpacing the development of those legal frameworks.
Big time, yeah.
For sure.
And then, you got to think about the Musk factor in all of this.
Right,
like, his vision and his like risk-taking nature are so central to xAI's approach.
Yeah, for sure.
But some of the sources you sent, they kind of suggest that his involvement also raises some...
Yeah, there's some concerns there.
Yeah, concerns like while his, drive and innovation have definitely pushed xAI forward,
sure.
his pronouncements on AI safety haven't always been super consistent.
Right. And that can create
uncertainty, right?
Yeah. Uncertainty, skepticism.
Yeah.
About where xAI is headed.
Right, exactly.
So we've got all these pieces of the puzzle, right?
We do.
We got the revolutionary potential of xAI, the complex ethical and social implications, the potential for like major disruption in all these different industries.
Yeah.
And then the unpredictable influence of Elon Musk.
Right, the wild card.
So like, how do we even begin to make sense of all of this?
Well, maybe the most important question to ask is like, what kind of future do we want to build with AI? Like, do we want a future where AI enhances human capabilities? solves our problems, expands our understanding of the universe?
Right.
Or do we risk creating a future where AI is used to, like, concentrate power, erode our privacy, exacerbate existing inequalities? Like,
it's a future we have a responsibility to.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it starts with understanding the potential and the pitfalls and the risks,
of technologies like xAI.
For sure.
We've like covered so much ground in this deep dive into xAI. From like its crazy growth and all these ambitious projects, to like, you know, the ethical concerns and Elon Musk's like, you know, influence. But as we're kind of wrapping up, I'm wondering what does it all actually mean? Like, what's the big picture here?
Yeah, if you kind of zoom out a little bit and look at the trajectory of xAI, it becomes pretty clear that this isn't just another tech company. You know, it's
something different.
It's something different. We're seeing this like convergence of really powerful forces. Artificial intelligence, social media,
big data,
even space exploration, all kind of colliding in a way that could like fundamentally reshape the technological landscape.
It feels like we're like right on the edge of
the cusp of something.
Yeah, the cusp of something huge, something that could be like incredibly beneficial or potentially really disruptive.
For sure.
You know, and we're hearing a lot of talk about like
responsible AI
development, but with things moving so fast, it's hard to even know what that means in practice.
Yeah, one of the sources you shared actually pointed to like xAI's emphasis on transparency and ethical data practices as kind of a good sign. But it also acknowledged that, you know, we're still really early in figuring this all out. You know, there's no playbook for responsible AI. We're writing it as we go.
It's like we're building the ship as we're sailing it, right?
Exactly,
We're creating these like crazy powerful tools, but we're still trying to figure out like
the rules of the game.
The rules, the safety protocols, like even where we're gearing.
Yeah, the destination. And that's where you come in.
Oh, okay.
You, the listener, you know, we've talked about how data is like the fuel for AI.
Right.
And that data comes from
all of us.
All of us, right? Our online interactions.
Yeah, everything we do.
Our driving habits, our conversations, like it's all being fed into these algorithms.
Right.
So like understanding how xAI works, the data it uses, the potential implications, like
that's essential.
That's crucial,
It's about, you know,
being informed.
Asking
the right questions.
Holding these companies accountable.
Accountable for how they use our data.
Yeah.
And how they develop these powerful technologies.
We can't just like sit back and let the future of AI
happen to us.
We
have a role to play.
We have a role to play in shaping it.
In shaping it, absolutely.
Yeah. Remember Grok?
Oh yeah.
That chatbot.
With the attitude.
It's learning from like
the Wild West of Twitter.
Yeah. Imagine like the possibilities if Grok actually
embraces that rebellious nature.
Like
challenges conventional thinking. Pushes boundaries.
Maybe even sparks some disruption. That we need. It's kind of a tantalizing prospect. But also a little bit
daunting.
What if like that rebellious streak leads it
down a path we didn't anticipate?
What if it starts like
questioning our assumptions?
Questioning the assumptions we've built, like
about AI.
Our understanding of AI could be
groundbreaking. Or it could be unsettling.
That's the thing about like truly transformative technologies. They can
upend our expectations. Challenge our assumptions. Make us confront those
uncomfortable questions.
But ultimately, the future of AI isn't like
predetermined.
Set in stone. It's a future that we can shape. Collectively and individually.
So we end this deep dive with like
a sense of cautious optimism.
Cautious optimism.
Is a healthy dose of curiosity. And a reminder that the story of xAI
and AI in general
is still being written.
Thanks for joining us on this journey.
It's been a pleasure.
It's been fun.